Guten Tag. Namaste, namaskaram. O genki desu ka? Ni hao ma? Buenos dias. Bonjour. There is much speculation on the surface as to what the photon belt is and when the Earth did enter or will enter this vortex. Know that the Earth officially entered the photon belt around May of 1998. The photon belt is composed of 12 gigantic vortexes of intense bands of light. Each vortex will perform its own specific action on Earth and in our solar system, and the whole process will be very closely monitored to work in harmony and balance. Suffice to say, it is a very safe process and there's nothing to fear. One could say that the light of the photon belt possesses the high and refined frequencies and qualities of the Ascension plane, along with many other attributes. Waves of light from the photon belt were released on Earth at various intervals each year for many years in the past, but particularly at the time of the equinox and the solstice. Each year, the light was released in a greater intensity and frequency. You needed to be acclimated, dear ones, for this greater light that is to come. You need to be acclimated to it. So, I mean, when the Earth officially entered into the first vortex, at that point, there's no turning back. And like I said, that was back in 1998. We're well into the 12 vortexes of the light with the intensity that is required for the Earth purification for Mother Gaia, for Tara, fifth dimensional Earth. Preparation for Mother Earth, her ascension process into the fifth dimension. That's what these big photon belts are all about if you've been paying attention. Since then, the various frequencies and intensity of the light from the photon belt are no longer released at intervals. Here, I mean, I'm talking about in the very last couple, definitely since the beginning of March, there are now bombardments that are taking place. The Earth is experiencing much more intensively and constantly these bombardments of light frequencies, light codes. There are a lot of adjustments to be made in this vortex before we can move to the next one, to the final one. All of humanity, in one form or the other, is feeling the effects of the new energy of this deep cleansing. Every person on Earth is going to have to do whatever it takes to adjust their consciousness and make the necessary changes within themselves to be able to move with and be transformed by the light of this photon. At this point, there's no turning back. I mean, as I mentioned in previous videos, that the Kali Yuga, polarization with the divine or polarization with the demonic, you're going to have to decide for yourself now if you want to ride the ascension wave with the planet, be transformed into the new species of humans that will emerge from this transformation, gain your immortality and ascend into the consciousness of the new Earth on the fifth dimensional level, or be crushed by the wave and stay on the third dimension for another round of incarnations. The choice is entirely yours. The opportunity is for all. Those who resist that light of the photon belt from the vortexes and the many changes it will bring will not be able to make it through the complete 12 vortexes. We know that many will choose at soul level and or at the conscious level to leave or vacate their physical bodies rather than let go of their fears, preconceived ideologies, and personal agendas that are not serving the greatest good of all, rather than lovingly allow themselves to go through the necessary steps of this transformation. There are also those who would be ready to come along for the ride, but because of their age, will be choosing to make the transformation from the other side of the veil. For those precious ones, this option is totally acceptable, and we ask you not to worry for those loved ones and allow them that choice. Many of you are already feeling and noticing in your physical and your emotional bodies the effects that are taking place at the cellular and genetic levels. Many of you are experiencing new, unpleasant physical symptoms you never had before, such as headaches, heart pains, palpitations, chronic fatigue, dizziness, nausea, changing sleep patterns, ringing in the ears, blurring of the vision, and many more. You're also noticing changes in your emotional state. Your bodies are evolving and cleansing themselves. All outmoded, worn out negative emotions and ways of thinking and perceiving things are coming to the surface to be examined, purified, and transformed. Many of you are emotionally confused, and many of you feel you're sick or something. I tell you, this is only temporary. Just hang in there and remain into the frequency of love for yourself and others. The high freaks, that's what I was talking about, been talking about. It will come to pass. Now is the time for you to let go of all your fears and negative patterns, because you simply cannot take them with you. Where we are going, there will be only love, dear ones. There will be no room for fears or negativity of any kind. What will you do at the entrance of the portal of the fifth dimension if you still have your baggage of fears and negativity with you? The vibrations of fears and other negative patterns simply cannot be emitted into the fifth dimension. Will you choose to stay behind on the third dimensional level for another round of incarnations just because you have held on to them? Do you want to carry them with you all the way through the 12 vortexes to the portal, only to be told that your baggage of negativity cannot come along with you? Or do you want to start working on getting rid of it now and free yourself from this limiting burden while there is still a bit of time left? The transformation of the human race on Earth was begun very gently about 30 years ago, intensified more around 1987 during the Great Harmonic Convergence. I mean, time is of the essence, folks. Mother Earth's ascension is happening now, right now. The Earth and humanity are ascending together as a big family. I cannot promise that the process will be totally comfortable all the way through all the 12 vortexes for everyone. For each one, there will be many adjustments to be made. You will be transformed into the new species of immortal, unlimited humans that will inhabit the new Earth, a place of divine love, unlimited abundance, beauty, and eternal peace. You are either coming along or staying behind in 3D or coming up to the 5D portal. You simply cannot at this time choose to stay in between the two worlds. What I was saying, you must be polarized, angelic or demonic. There's no middle ground anymore, folks. The new Earth will manifest the glory and perfection beyond your wildest dreams. The Earth Mother is already engaged in this process. Sure, you may choose to come a few incarnations later, and you will all get there eventually. I'm talking about coming now. Making up your mind now, not in a few hundred years now, but now, at the end of this Earth cycle, which will be finishing here very, very soon. What is your choice? Most people will say they want to come now, and I say to you, are you willing to prepare and do whatever it takes to make it through the transition? It is not totally a free ride, you know. I mean, although you are given at this time unprecedented assistance from the higher realms, you have to do your part if you choose to come along. If you select to stay behind, it will be honored and you will be incarnating again in a place that will match your level of awareness. There is no judgment on your decision. God has given you free will on this planet, and it will not be taken back from you. What are your options? The third and fourth dimensions are scheduled to eventually be folding up on this Earth. If you choose to stay in the illusion of the so-called familiar zone, your comfort zone of the old paradigm of the third dimension, you will not immortalize your body. This means that sooner or later, you will vacate your body and incarnate again in another third dimensional planet, similar to this one, and continue to enjoy your fears, your violence, your control, manipulation, your wars, your limitations, your addictions, and all the negativity you're not wanting to give up now. I'm saying this to you because of my love for you and the great love that God has for you. I'm not trying to scare you in any way. I'm trying to reason with you in the hope of helping you awaken from your lethargy, your spiritual slumber, into the illusions of your old outmoded momentums. For all those reading, listening to this message, know that it is the desire of the spiritual hierarchy of this planet for all to be able to make an informed choice. We are hoping with all of our heart that you will choose to come along, because we're a big family and everyone is loved very dearly. You have heard of the place prepared that your scriptures talk about. Well, this very special place is no other than the fifth dimensional consciousness. Our deep concern is that we are seeing at this time, so close to the portal of the fifth dimension, too many of the precious people on Earth that could easily make it to the portal of the fifth dimension and be accepted, still living their lives on an automatic pilot type of consciousness, not wanting to take responsibility for creating their future reality, not wanting to hear about any changes or having to face taking a serious look at their lives to see where they're heading. Folks, I can't emphasize enough the importance of my next few words. The time to live on automatic pilot is over. Like I said, the time riding the fence is over. Humanity has lived this way for thousands upon thousands of years, and it has caused you all untold suffering, sorrows, poverty, sickness, and all the social and economic problems that have been facing humanity for those thousands of years. The time of your deliverance is upon you now. You, as a soul evolving on earth, can be liberated only if you consciously choose to do so and make it the most important priority in your life. It will not happen by continuing to live on automatic pilot, by riding that fence, by just trying to snake through and just, get by, and you can't do it. It's not, time is over with. You must polarize one way or another. This will happen for you only if you embrace now the Christ consciousness and start thinking and acting with your Christ mind and your Christ love. No matter how much help you're getting from above, no one can do it all for you. You will have to allow the desire to be ignited within your heart to evolve your consciousness to the level of where you want to go. We are all conscious of the difficulties you're facing, also aware of the wonderful progress many of you are making, but know that you are making a difference, and we all send you our light and our love. Namaste. Namaskaram.